All right. Welcome to the Circle of Grace 1. Today is Thursday, April the 7th, 2016. I'm on live right now and glad to be here. Woo! It's an opportunity to do a lot of things, as you know, here. And we're going to make sure that everyone can see me because now everything is up and running for my own chat room here. And tonight's show, part of this show is going to talk about dreams and visions, the difference between dreams and visions, and also about dreamers and visionaries, and what's the difference basically between the two. So you'll learn something tonight about the difference between one who is a dreamer and one who is a visionary. And then, of course, I'm going to be able to express uh, some very good things that are coming up, especially if you're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, especially on Saturday, the 16th of April, 2016. So I'm going to get that information out to you, and we will probably run pretty close to 2 hours tonight. Is our opportunity to do that. And I'm going to go right over to my Facebook page here and let some people know that I'm up and running so they can also see this show tonight. I know many people are always investing in many things, so we want to make sure that everybody is getting this. So I'm going to put this in right now before I do anything. I am on live. I'm going to say here at, and of course give this link so people can come directly to the show link. And this is going to be an opportunity for us to, excuse me, going to be an opportunity for people to get some information that they can use right away. And before I should say that, one of the things I want to say right now is an opening prayer through divine power and by divine grace. May all who come in and listen live tonight or later in the archives, if you're here, you can join me in the chat room. We'll be able to interact. I'll be able to see your questions and answer them directly for you. This is also an opportunity to see me in operation on a live broadcast if you have not ever been able to do so until now. So this is something that is, I would say, required of myself to be here, come on live at least twice a week. I'm here at Ustream .tv. I'm here once a week every Thursday from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. my time, Mountain Time, to come on live. Okay? And so you get a chance to be here with me and be able to participate. So we're going to get this show started, and I'm going to talk about dreams and visions, and I'm going to then segue into the question, are you a dreamer or a visionary? And also help you to gain a further understanding that perhaps you're both. And so this is something that everybody has an interest in, and I want to make sure that you gain a better understanding. So I'm going to send this in a moment. That's why you see my head down right now. And we're going to get this out. We see a lot of things going on in the world, but we're going to make sure no matter what's going on, you can be here. Okay, now we'll just put that out there to everybody. Excuse me, I have a little, not sinus congestion, but it's been quite windy out here sometimes in the southwest here out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so, there's always something happening. You get a little water. So I welcome all of you, whether you're going to be in here live or later. And again, this is my opportunity to share information. Now, many of you may know or not know, or maybe you want to let your friends and family know. And let your friends and family know that I also have a 30-minute live blog talk radio show right now. And when I come on, I'm on every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is also 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for people to get that information. And so I'm doing the do, and this is really a lot of excitement that's going on, and I'm just thankful to be able to get this opportunity to broadcast like this to everyone so that they could get this information. Now, also, I want to let people know right now that my spiritual sister that I mentor by the name of Vernell, I refer to her as Sister Vernell, my sister, and she is giving, I believe this will be her 4th Divinity Within Mind, Body, Spiritual Healing Arts Expo, and it's in a brand new location downtown. It's off of Central and Broadway, and if you are taking, let's say, 25, Interstate Highway 25 going south, you'd get off down there on Central Avenue, and that would take you right, get off Central Avenue going, east, and when you go east, that'll take you, not east, when you get off, you go west, when you get off, we thought it was east, you go west, and you go right by, for those of you who are familiar with the downtown area, here's some landmarks. If you know where a store is called Crystal Dove, you pass right by that. You're going to pass by also an inn down there, and when you turn off that way going down Central, there's that big hotel that's there, the tan looking building that everybody says there are a couple of spirit or ghosts walking around in there. So you'll see that when you make your left turn on your right turn onto Central Avenue, and within about 2 or 3 minutes, if the traffic is not too difficult, or a minute or so, you will come upon a big church that you're going to see, okay, in a tannish orange sandstone building on your right, and there's a traffic light right there, and that is Broadway Boulevard, and you're going to make a right turn. Now, as you make that right turn right there, when you make that right turn, you're heading north. You're not going to go up far. You make the right turn, and the first left turn that you can make, you'll see it's right there. There'll be a little lane for you to make a left turn, and you're going to go into the driveway where the church is. When you go into the driveway, you pass right by the church. There's a big open parking lot. You're going to see a sign in the corner there to your left that's going to say Epicenter, EPICNTER ABQ. Epicenter ABQ, and you're going to see it just as you make a like almost a wide turn left. Once you're in that driveway, once you're in that parking lot behind the church, you'll see this building. Now, it looks like it's quite a distance away, but you'll be able to go right into the building there, and it'll have a sign that says Epicenter, purple sign with white letters, Epicenter ABQ. So for those of you that are coming there as our to come and attend, you will be able to pay your $6 admission to come in. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we're looking forward to see all the vendors. I'm going to be a vendor there. I'm going to have not only some of my, many of you have seen my digital prints on computer, but you're going to see now some of my paintings. I have a small body of work that's left over from 2013, but you're going to see some new paintings, and these are right now I'm going to refer to them as spiritual headshots. Okay, then these spiritual headshots are of the actual facial appearances of guides that I've seen in my meditations since I've been meditating for a long time, and they now want to be expressed through me on canvas. So some of the canvases might be, let's say, canvas boards that are like 8 by 10s, 9 by 12s. I think I may have. You'll see some of my smaller canvas pieces, wide range. Some of this new work may have some gemstones already added to it, and you'll be able to get it. Let's say the price range right now, special just for the show. You'll be able to get some of these paintings that I have, these new paintings, for maybe about $60. Depending on their size. Some of them might be 40, 60, and going all the way up. I'm going to have some 11 by 14s. You're going to see a treasured piece that I have that I'm going to put up on Facebook, and it's called Jimmy on Fire. Many of you have seen the print that I've had, Jimmy Electrified. Now you'll see the actual painting that goes for about $300, called Jimmy on Fire, 11 by 14. So that painting will be there as well. Actually, he's a 16 by 20. So you'll see him there, and you're going to see my bass series of the three, the woman playing bass, the man playing, two gentlemen playing bass. You're going to see that there as well. I'm looking forward to put that work there to bring along. Now, tonight's show is all about dreams and visions. And tonight you will discover if you are either a dreamer or a visionary. And I feel that most of you, all of us, are actually both. So, what is a dream? Well, a dream is composed of you having experiences, and these experiences are happening usually during your hours of sleep, but you can also have the dream and what we call a daydream, where you're like wide awake and you seem to be phasing out and seeing an image that pops up in front of you, which also can occur as a visionary. And being a visionary, you can also appear to be daydreaming and receive a vision that comes to you. Now, also, when a person normally is asleep at night, whether you have 4 hours, 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 10, 12, you name it, there is something that lets you know. Now, if you have a partner there with you, the partner may see it. The partner will notice your body may twitch a little bit, may move a little bit, but if they look real close at your face, if they can see your face really close, they will notice that while your eyelids are shut, upper and lower eyelids are shut, that your eyes are darting back and forth underneath your eyelids. And sometimes they might be able to catch this special moment where your eyelids with the eye are opening and closing very rapidly. And back in the 1970s in Menlo Park, California, there were many people back then studying dreams, the patterns of dreams, the behavior of the physical body in dreams, and they gave the term REM. REM mean or REM is an acronym for three words using those same letters called rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement. This was a signal when electrodes were connected around on the face that they could see the people participating in this particular study. They could see that they were having a pattern of images and experiences. So what they were doing was the body was reacting during dream state. And usually dream state, the brainwave level is usually somewhere down there around between 4 cycles per second up to about almost 12 or 13 cycles per second. Right in there is when a person is in what they call the alpha state, but also what they call the superconscious state, and they're experiencing dreams. And also, it's been noted when a person goes even deeper, that's what they call the theta level, but even deeper into delta, which is almost where I call it like comatose state, where you're down there 4 cycles down to almost maybe 1 cycle per second, maybe half of that. That's when the body's absolutely still. That's when, yes, those signals are going off, but also at the same time, that's when a person is having what they call astral travel experiences. And those who are more adept and who can control that can will themselves to have what they call soul travel, which means they get beyond the astral belt, and wind up out there in deep space. In other words, be in that holographic universe and then break through the holographic universe and be in another total dimension of time and space. And the continuum of that is different. So one goes beyond the current space they are basically in their physical world, and get into those higher, I'm going to call registers or realms of consciousness, which also can take place in deep levels of meditation without going to sleep. Same thing can happen. So it was noted back in the 1970s that all of these experiments were going on, and even far further back in time. That was happening in Menlo Park, California. Also at the same time, out in New York, on Long Island, where I grew up, there was a lot of different experiments going on in the Lake Success area of Nassau County and Suffolk County and Bethpage areas, Farmingdale areas, going all the way out to almost the end of the fishtail part of Long Island, called Montauk, Long Island. Out there were some things going on as well. So it's not just the 1970s where these experiments were taking place, but out there in Montauk, Long Island, and also connected to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on the naval yard and naval shipyards, was a experience of time travel that went on back then. And the time travel made the connection between August, a certain day on August of 1943, made a connection, or we should say 1940, but also 1940 to 1943, usually 40. Whenever there's a zero at the end, there is a certain cycle or experience that happens, and it was noted back then. I'm just touching upon it very lightly. You can do your research on it. The cycles, rhythmic cycles of the earth. In other words, there's a high peak that takes about 20 years, and then a low peak, a low valley, which is another 20 years. So at their extremes, these 2 points, 20 years up and 20 years down, create a vibration like a big sine wave. And what had happened was the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk experiments come together. And the people back in the 40s were able to time travel and find themselves in the 80s. Now they didn't really go anywhere, but they were in a chamber that was specifically designed for that. But you can look that up. You can go online, go to YouTube, you can go to Wikipedia, perhaps. You can look up some names, some people who do a lot of extensive research, like Peter Moon, which I'm kind of familiar with him. He and I have a slight connection, but he has a deep connection. Peter Moon knows about a lot about that, and you can just go and really research it out. But it did actually happen, and so many different, I'll say, societal organizations, governmental organizations, military intelligence, to say briefly, were all involved in this activity, in these studies. And you can also look up something like remote viewing. So let me get back to the topic here of dreams and visions. So these lab experiments with real people, spiritual beings in human form, participating in dream study work. How do people dream, and do they actually remember their dreams? Now, we know even up to today, some people find it difficult, and I would say I'm one of those people too. Sometimes I don't remember every dream that I have. I'll tell you, I don't remember every dream, but I see snippets of the dream in my consciousness when I wake up. And what I've been able to do for myself, I've been able to kind of program myself to think a certain way, to be more consciously aware when I'm about to go off to sleep. Within that last hour or so, I do my best to keep myself wide open consciously. The same thing that I do in meditation, to open myself in a manner through my heart center energy field, through my crown chakra, through my throat chakra, through my third eye region, in fact my entire body, to be more aware of energy and how it feels. Now I'm kind of doing it right now, and the reason why I do it kind of right now is so I can tune into the vibration, and also so I can give out some very interesting intuitive messages at the same time. My ancestors are right here with me. I feel their presence around. They kind of dart in and out. My late mother Grace and her mother, my grandma Charlotte, they kind of dart in and out a lot. They're the presence of the angel of grace. I have with the angel of grace, which is sometimes called Aniel or Haniel. I feel that presence. I also have the presence of my totem animal spirit guides, bear energy, wolf energy, and I've got that dragon energy back now. And so I'm connecting with a lot of forces. And I'm into solar practices, and that's helping me out as well. So I'm busy developing myself. And what am I doing here? Through dreams and visions, as I teach about these things, is to help you remember that you actually do have dreams and that you actually do have visions. So I'm just going to claim it tonight. I'm going to decree it, that many people watching this right now live, people who are going to see this later in the archives right here, or can watch it later when I upload it to YouTube, you have experiences that are dream related, dream oriented, and yes, you do have visions. You do have visions throughout your life on this earthly plane, along with dreams. So how can I help you understand the difference, though, between the two? Well, the major difference, everyone, between dreams and vision, or a dream and a vision, is this. Is that when you are having the dream is packed with a lot of symbolism. The dream is packed, is overflowing, like a cornucopia with a lot of symbolism. Also, now how does that symbolism come into being? Now I'm kind of generalizing it for you at the same time, because I want to make it as simple as possible, even though it's not that simple. So I want you to realize is that when you're having dreams, yes, I always tell people maintain a dream journal, and understand that dream journal also should have your visions in it. Now, if you want to keep your visions separate, you can, and you're going to find yourself having an accumulation of books where you're able to write down your dreams. So your dreams are packed, are overflowing with a lot of symbolism. And that symbolism is in numbers, single digits, double digits, triple digits, quadruple digits, 10 digits like phone numbers, addresses, maybe a newspaper where you actually see the date of the newspaper. You can actually see the name of it sometimes. You might see a clock and catch the watch. You might catch a ring, a special ring you see there in the dream. And these are things that you may have seen before or never have seen before. So you're going to catch all these different symbols, colors. Like I'm wearing red. Sometimes you might see that in your dream. Okay, there's going to be people in your dream. They could be young people, middle-aged people, senior citizens, babies. You may see animals, but each one of them represents something. And in most cases, when you're having the dream, when you're seeing people and you're seeing colors and you're seeing symbols and there's sound, it could be sounds of nature, it could be musical tones, it could be things like a truck driving by, or the toot of a tugboat, or you smell incense, or you smell gas fumes. All of these things are describing in the dream your situation that you're either about to have, or you're going through it currently, or you already had it. So that means the dream is going to give you information that will link up your daily experiences that you just recently went through, maybe a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, a couple of minutes ago. All right? Right into where you're going now in your life. So usually when you have a dream, right? A dream with all these different symbols going on and people and personalities, some of it is describing the situation that you're currently in as well as yourself. Sometimes when you see people in your dreams, people symbolize the different facets and qualities and attributes of yourself, what you are expressing. Now, there are universal symbols, meaning just like we're speaking this American English, so it's kind of universal. Everybody knows red is red, some type of red, southwestern red color, bright red color, black, okay, gold, golden black band, eyes. All these things are universal, right? We see them and we can identify with them right away. We know what they are. So that's why it could be looked at as a universal symbol. There are other symbols that you may not be aware of. So what do dreams cause you to do? Dreams cause you to become a researcher of dreams. When you're having dreams, your higher self is where the dreams are coming from. Your higher self, the angelic presence around you, the God conscious self, a part of you, the Christ conscious, the Buddha consciousness, all of these different consciousnesses are coming to you. And you're receiving them for a particular reason. And we already know that the subconscious part of ourselves is receiving 10,000 bits and pieces of information all the time from you. I'm gonna say 100,000 bits and pieces of information, because in here you are able to retain a great deal of data, of information. And with that data and that information, that allows you to go back into the memory system and pull up the data, pull up life's experiences that you know that you have had. So this comes about all the time. You're always seeing this all the time. This is important for you all the time. So you're wanting to know who you are, how you are, why you are, and that higher self, soul aspect of you, the spirit, God, conscious part of you, the I am presence, is trickling down this information to you so that you can receive it, so that you can get it, so that you can work on it and begin to apply it right away. Now, I've talked about in other settings on other internet blog talk radio shows last year and years ago here on Ustream channel when I first did this back in 2009, 2008, I believe. I was here on Ustream broadcasting. That's when I lived back east. These symbols that we're having all the time are speaking a language, giving us a message. So yes, you have to do research when you receive a dream. And I always tell people like this: the dream has 7 layers. Just like you got 7 major chakras, the dream can go into those different chakra settings. So if for instance, if you were to study Tibetan healing rays, the Tibetan healing chakra system is slightly different from the Western chakra system, or what we call as the Western chakra system, or we might say more universal rainbow system of chakras. We know that the root chakra, base chakra, is red. So you might see red in your dream, and then we'll have to just not say, well, I saw a lot of red and it means I have an angry personality, or I saw a lot of red and I can initiate something. But you might notice, okay, if it's Tibetan ray system, the red is not at the base of the spine. The red is right on the top, the crown of the head. Which, by the way, if you look at certain cultures, people that wear the fez is red, or a dark red shade. I used to wear a fez, representative of the Moorish ancestral line that I'm connected to. We used to wear fezzes with the black tassels. So on the head, red on the head means you are governing yourself appropriately through spirit, being guided through spirit. So there's certain things that the colors can replicate in certain areas through your chakra system, depending on which one you are working with. And I always tell people, use all of them. You might have a particular preference. Just like if you're driving a vehicle, you might like driving a truck, as opposed to someone likes driving a car, as opposed to someone likes being on a motorcycle. Or someone is on what they call the trikes now, the 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel in the back. Or what's that other one called? Pocket rocket, a rocket pocket. The ones that are really sleek and make you take off down the roadway, motorbikes. Well, it's the same thing. You have a certain preference, a certain way that you're using to analyze. But what you learn when you study dreams, brothers and sisters, when you study dreams, what you are actually doing is studying yourself. You're studying how you receive information, just like a computer. Computer uses what they call that binary code, 1011000011, okay? As it's spitting out that data represents something else. Just like you can take this web link and run it through something else and find out all the letters that I'm using to describe the link that I'm on is a whole bunch of symbols. But if I knew how to write the code as in terms of the symbols, then I could say, okay, I've took here www.ustream.tv /channel /circle grace 1 with my ID number, account number that shows up with it when I'm broadcasting. or the number of shows that I'm doing. But when you see the code is like probably 50, 60 symbols making up 10 letters in a figure, number one, and a hyphen in between, a dash. All of that this long to get that much information out, but this long. Okay? So when you're looking at the dreams that you're having, the dreams that you're having are denoting that it's made up of all these different symbols on so many different layers that you can discover the truth of a situation. But now, what's a vision? What's a vision? A vision is something that you experience while you are asleep or receive, like in your waking state. You could be quote unquote daydreaming, so let's call it a day vision, or you receive it in a very deep state of meditation. And if you get your mental side and your emotional side in a good way where there's equal balance, in your waking state you could receive a vision because you could see it. You could see some vibratory representation of it around you in a very subtle way. So what vision? Vision. Eye vision, television. Right? Vision, television. What we do when we with a television. Television is receiving what? Data and colors and pixels, right, on the screen. And what are the colors? Red, green, and blue. And some yellow to make up those primary colors in there to make up what? Red, yellow, and blue is already there as a primary color. Those three primary colors mixed a certain way can give you green, give you orange, but you get all that pixeled information on the screen, which then what? Makes up a color or a complexion, and it keeps going, and it makes up what? An image. So the image is coming down the tube, coming down the wires. Just like right here, live streaming. Live streaming. So you see me, and many of you say, okay, kind of staccato-like. Well, I got an inexpensive account, so that's why it's staccato like this. But it's my words and my lips are within 3 seconds of each other. But you know that same thing happens when you're watching an athletic event, like a football game and all of that. You're seeing a live event on TV. There's a 3-second delay of information. You could prove that by picking it up on radio. And notice that what you see on TV live is ahead of what you're hearing on radio. It's amazing how all of this data, and this is almost the same way from a dream to a vision, or vision to a dream. There's a slight delay there. Why? Because it's coming through, it's a certain vibrational frequency coming through the air. And you have the ability to capture that image, capture those sounds, symbols, colors, light, and put it through your memory consciousness that your entire body has into an image in front of you. You see it. You feel it. So when a person has a vision, meaning they're seeing particles of light, that's what you're doing. VIS is like a part of seeing, right? Vision, my eye vision, but look at symbolism. ION. ION is what? A charged particle of energy or light or sound. So a vision is giving you both. Sound is giving you light, and light is producing a color, radiation of color. Not only is doing that, that vision might give you a scent. So your 5 physical senses, just like in dreams, kick into your visions. And then you have what? ESP, extra sensory perception. Extra sensory, beyond your 5 physical that you have, they get extended on a bigger level. Now you step into that psychic astral region and higher spiritual regions where you're now picking up the frequency on a completely different level. So what's happening is your whole body is this big antenna. You're the generator of ideas, thoughts, and patterns, and symbols, and languages, and sounds, and code, therefore received as or seen as codes. You're the generator of that, and then you become the transformer of that. So that means you change the form as it's coming to you in the ethers, or as you're sending it out. And this is a lot of information, right? For visions and dreams. This is why I had to open myself up, because I could have skipped all of this. I didn't have to mention all this, but the Holy Spirit in me, the I Am Presence, wants me to let you know that it is a little on the scientific side. And what is science? Science, when you look it up in the Webster Dictionary, if you get an unabridged dictionary, you'll find about 10 different definitions to the word science. But the one you're going to see in there means what? Exact sense. Science is exact sense, and it goes beyond your feeling. You sense it, just like an animal senses your smell. That's one sense, right? Feel it. Again, 5 physical senses and beyond. Your chakras, your meridians, the nadi points, running through your body. You begin to feel and see all of this is moving. Those meridians in your body that you don't really see, that the Chinese developed in the air, because they use them in acupuncture and acupressure. When you are aware of all of these pressure points and what all these things can do, and in the brain, the folds of the brain, and how the folds of the brain keep expanding the more you keep learning. So this lets us know that inside we got this crystalline carbon figure, less carbon, more crystalline figure coming through of elements that's going to allow us to do what? Interpret everything that flows through us and around us. So a vision gives you what? The power. Gives you the power to see a charged particle of light in a fixed form. You're seeing charged particles of light in a fixed form. Now, I'm going to expand that. I mean, it's not necessarily really fixed, but you're capturing, just like you take, I take this mobile phone, right? And it has an application in there, in the software, where I can take a picture. Or, if I wanted to, I could do what? I could record myself. Yeah, I could record myself doing the show. Or I have a digital recorder here somewhere, and I could take that digital recorder and put it on and what? And pick up my voice. We got all these gadgets, but guess what? They're all based on us. They're based on what we are capable of doing. Same with this laptop, desktops, iPads, iPhones, you name it. We have this ability to pick up all this information and share all this information with the world. So that's what's so cool about this. We're able to see all of this, share all of this, express all of this. So now we're the generator, we're generating it, and we can what? Transform it at the same time. Which then takes us into what? To the ability to transcend, to go above and beyond, and go back to its natural state, natural spiritual state. So a vision is designed from a higher, more infinite source and power and force to relay a message or messages inside of that vision to you. The only question is, who is giving you the vision? Who might we think is giving us this vision? Who? Who could it be? Or as my late mother would say, who could have thunk? Who could have thunk? Thunk of this. As I used to say in the South. Who could have put this together for us to see, for us to comprehend, for us to understand? It's amazing. And I myself, I'm beginning to realize it's not just messages, visions coming from my ancestors. It's not just visions, dreams I'm receiving from my spirit guides. And it's not just coming from angels. It's coming from the infinite creation. I'm coming to the understanding that we have all these multi-universes that we're dealing with, right? And it is very possible, since we've already seen people do time travel and talk about it and discuss it and experience it. And experience it through out-of-body experience and remote viewing. I'm coming to the conclusion, with a little help of my other study friends that I'm with, that it is our higher self talking to us. That actually, more than likely, it is my future self, or myself in other universes, having a conversation with me telepathically, sending me information that I am seeking, or that I should be seeking. So a vision, like a dream, is a cornucopia of truths, of ideals, of information, compacted in such a way that is not necessarily codified. C-O-D-I-F-I-E-D. Not codified, meaning it's not in a code. It's not a secret. It's laid out for you to see. So when you are having a vision, the vision that you are seeing, that you're being allowed to see in your consciousness play out in your life, is information, sights, scenes, and sounds, smells, and all that you will actually experience. So, I'll share with you just briefly, and I'm going to try to be brief with this because I'm long-winded. My first experience of a vision in my own life. Many of you may know that I always talk about my late mom. This is what the Circle of Grace 1 is all about. She's the first Grace. That's why the number 1 is there. She's the first Grace person named Grace that I know of in my life. And she definitely personified grace on earth and became a teacher, a spiritual teacher for me. Now, I didn't know that I was being taught as a youngster. When I mean down there 5, 6, 7, 8 years of age, I had no idea, I was allowed to experience childhood. But one day, I had what I thought, because I used to hear my parents always talk about, my parents were a part of what they call Prince Hall Masons and Eastern Stars. They grew up in that in the South. Their parents, mothers and fathers, aunts and uncles were a part of all of that. And my mom and dad, my mom didn't go to many of the Eastern Star meetings. As far as I knew, that when they had my brother and I, my older brother and myself, but my dad maintained a contact with some Prince Hall Masons as time went on, and he became what they call a Master Mason, 3rd degree Master Mason. And he really didn't go any further beyond that. I remembered he had the white gloves and all of that. I used to see him leave the house with those things. So, I knew something was going on, but my mother was the sweetest because she was really breaking code. My mother was a code breaker. So, she'd never say it around my dad, because my dad, Mason's taken oath, so do Eastern Stars. But my mother chose not to stay in it. She was a proficient student of the Bible. She knew verses and scripture inside and out. However, mom studied, you may have seen this, Ostara books. Astara, I should say. Astara. Astara Society. And she used to leave those books around for me to see. And she said, one day you're going to get into this. And then the most significant thing that my mother studied was Rosicrucian work. And then I later, in the 70s, I went from studying Christian Science material to when I had enough of that, Mary Baker Eddy's work, that little blue book. I studied and read that. I got away from that. Not meaning I had to run from it, but I wanted something more. So I studied Rosicrucianism. And this was back in the right after I got out of college. I was studying in the mid 70s, late 70s, out in early 80s. I was studying Rosicrucianism. My mother used to take me to the place where they had a hall, but I was a little nervous about going in there. So I said, I don't really need it. I'm gonna study this on my own. And then I came into some other things, which is how I got the BEY on the end of my name. And then it all began to make sense because I was along the way studying meditation while I was in college, all this other stuff I was doing, astrology when I got out, numerology, and then, bing, it started to click. But anyway, when I was about 8 years old, I woke up one Sunday morning during the summer and, knocked on the bedroom door. You just always got to do that. Mom and Dad could be a little busy in there. I knocked on the bedroom door and they said, "Hey, who's it?" I said, "This is." They called me Buster back then. This Buster, I have a question. Something is on my mind. And, here I am, little chubby 8-year-old. What could be on my mind? So I came in, stood at the foot of the bed, and I says, "I saw something while I was asleep." So my father, said, "Yeah, what did you see?" And I began to describe what I saw in detail. And my father, he just looked at my mother. My mother looked at him. And I realized, okay, mom is going to give up the information, not dad. Dad, because I'm touching some things maybe I'm not supposed to know or discuss with him. So my mother basically became the teacher right then and told me, "Well, son, that's not a dream." And I said, "Well, what is it then?" I don't know what that is. I don't even know I didn't even know how to use the word dream. Why I was able to use it. So I was using it intuitively. But she said, "No, you're not having a dream. You just experienced a vision." And I said, "Well, what is a vision?" And she spelled it out, VISION. A vision is something that you will experience later. Now, later could be next week, a couple of months from now. So the most important question she had asked me was, "Well, this vision that you had, son, how old do you think you were in the vision? Because that will really clarify it for you and for your dad and me." And I said to my mother, "I looked like I was a teenager. I was older." Now, I was 8 and my brother was 12. So you see teenagers around you when you're growing up. I said, "I feel like I was a teenager." She said, "Oh, well, where were you?" And I went through the process of describing it again. And I didn't know. I said, "College." And she said, "Interesting." So there she was in her nightgown and robe. She went in her mind. She said, "Well, you're going to experience that. You just keep watching TV, the college football games. You just might see the college." But sure enough, every fall, when college football was on every Saturday, I was glued to the TV set. And why? Because when there was halftime, they always talked about the college and the university. So I was looking for it, you see. To make a long story short now, to speed it up, after I graduated from high school during the summer, one of the guidance counselors, his name was Mr. Chambers, late Mr. John Chambers, I'll never forget his name, John Chambers. And he called up, he lived locally in the area, in the community, and he called all of the Asiatic kids, which is another term is black and Latino kids, together, and the boys and girls, teenagers, and their parents. And what was so interesting was he had a cookout in his backyard. I mean, he had arranged for this for some time. There was a woman there. I forget her name, but she was freckle face with red hair, and she was from Bard College, Bard College, which was located up in Annandale on the Hudson River, up in New York, in Dutchess County, New York. Now, the interesting factor, when I had the vision, I told my mother there was this white stone building with columns, and there was a white stone bench, and I remember sitting on the bench in the vision, and I remember playing volleyball a few weeks later, volleyball, and that's very important. When I sat next to her, I energized, my mother taught me how to put your hand out and feel things. I felt like, oh, we're supposed to sit here. Didn't know that the lady's going to sit right to my right. There wasn't a lot of students or parents that came to this cookout at this man's house, but the right ones of us did come. And at that point, when she showed the student manual, there was the building with the columns. In fact, there were two of them. On the inside cover was the library, but on the outside cover was the gymnasium. For some reason, the gym had its columns. However, what was along the way throughout the manual? The white stone benches. And I said to I elbowed my mother, said, that's where I was, like right in this picture. I was right there. I could see the entire campus, most of it. She said, are you sure? I jumped up and said, this is it. She doesn't have to say anything else. This is where I was playing volleyball as a teenager. And we kind of kept it hush-hush. I had to write an essay. Finally got accepted into the school under the HEOP program. Speeding it up as fast as I can. And what happened? 3 or 4 weeks go by in the month of September. But while I'm there, I'm walking around on campus, I'm having flashbacks. There was a path that you could walk behind the library as a shortcut. And as you walk behind the path, you go right by the president's house, the president of the college's house. He was like right up the road a little bit in front. But if you go behind this little path, I call it a little secret garden path, you get back down, and then there was a lot of trees. You had to be careful. There was a lot of poison ivy back off in there too. But you walk down, and then you would come to a series of houses. With this lady that was there, she lived in one of those houses behind the library. She lived along the way, and I got to see her. Many times when I took that shortcut, she'd be waving. She was an administrative head back then. But anyway, I had spiritual experiences, and I would be sweating in my sleep at night. And this is my freshman year. Well, finally, about being there about 3 weeks later, watching some fellow upper college people, which is upper college's juniors and seniors, playing volleyball. Now, it hadn't occurred to me that this was going to come up yet. So I'm sitting there, and I'm saying, well, it's getting a little cool out. It's getting a little dark, but it's still daylight saving time. And somebody said, okay, we need some freshmen up here. We need lower college. We need some freshmen. Freshmen's. Okay, who's a freshman? I'm raising my hand. It was about 8 or 9 of us out there watching everybody. Everybody's having a kick-ass time. And this is what happened. They called me to play the game. Now, you know how volleyball goes. When it's your time to serve, usually you're at the net. So the furthest person to the right or the left is going to come back and serve the ball. Well, I tell you, when I got in that position, the dream, quote, quote, dream as the vision now kicked in. And I was sweating. And I was sweating. And I was sweating. My hands were getting clammy. And people said, come on, Frank, serve the ball. We don't have all night. And I made a prayer. I said, if this vision is going to happen, the ball cannot come back to me. If the ball comes back to me and goes over my head like in the vision, I'm playing this out in my mind, then this is real. I'm now going to experience the vision. Well, I hit that ball as far as I could. Do you know somebody halfway in the middle of the group returned the volley toward me? The ball shot over my head, and it was like slow motion. I turned, and I saw the ball in front of the administration building where we almost were in the dorms, kick off and go down this grassy knoll. Just like the vision, it went between two maple trees. And to me, my 30-second walk felt like the longest mile because I didn't want to get the ball because I knew what I was going to see. I knew exactly what I was going to experience, and everybody was, "Hurry up, man, get the ball." So I go trotting down, and as I come in to between the two oak trees or maple trees, the pit of my stomach expanded. I felt like I was a woman about to give birth. I bent over, put my hands on my knees. I was huffing and puffing. I felt like I walked through spider webs, but no spider webs there. It was just energy. And in the vision, brown suede shoes popped up in the vision, and that's what I saw. When the man asked me, picking up the ball, asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes, but I'm stuttering." He said, "What's your name?" And I began to stutter for Francis, or "What's your name?" And he says, "Mario." When he said that, Mario, I automatically knew his whole name. And I said, without looking up, "Mario Bick." He says, "How do you know that?" And there I described everything that he had on. And then I stood up and we looked at each other. He kind of looked like a younger version of Marco. What's that guy? Of the Marx Brothers. The guy with the mustache. He had a smaller mustache. He had round horn rim glasses that had that brownish tan kind of look through it. And he had on a leather jacket with the leather sleeves. I mean, a corduroy jacket with leather sleeves, brown, with the black leather. I described everything I could. Well, we became good friends. He was an anthropology teacher, and I knew that. I knew he came from Long Island, so we were there for the first time. Me, a freshman from Long Island, him once a college professor at the State University of Stony Brook. Now he's teaching at Bard anthropology. But he became my lead-in. I'm going to stop right there. So, I had the vision. I experienced it. The same way that I had it when I was 8 years old was the same exact way. The vision began when I was invited on to play volleyball. That's how the vision came. And everything that I was experiencing in the vision, hitting the ball, praying like crazy that it would get dark enough so I don't have to serve the ball, all of that was going on. Everybody that was there in the vision was there in real life. Every last one of them. And some of them I became very good friends with on campus. So I had friends that were freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, all happening at the same time. A vision. When you have a vision, it's a charged event. Electromagnetic event in your life, a vision. And if it hits you, if you're open enough, it's going to flow through your body. It's going to trickle down. You're going to feel like your brains are melting. Mine did that day. That was just the beginning. And a year later, my third eye slammed open. And I was yelling and screaming in a dorm and nobody heard me. Why? Because I was in another dimension yelling and screaming, but everything looked the same. The bedroom, the dorm, the person I had to share my bedroom with at that time. But I was having these experiences. Very deep experiences. So, that's a vision. A vision, everything you see in the vision, everything you experience in the vision, when you get to that point to have it, you shall experience it just like you received it. So here's my other part here. We're at 6:06 p.m. Mountain Time. Let me just take a little break here, because my question to you is, and I have to say it so that I remember, are you a dreamer or are you a visionary? And as I said early in the program, it's possible that you're both, a dreamer and a visionary. We all are. We dream big. Sometimes we dream small. We dream in between, but we dream. But if we look at it poetically, when people say he's a dreamer, Well, when people say it that way, with that kind of feeling behind it, and I know many of you watching it live now or seeing it later, you'll say to yourself, "Oh yeah, he's a dreamer or she's a dreamer." Yeah, my dad was a dreamer. Meaning that a person would dream these big ideas, these things that they wanted to experience. They had a lot of symbolism behind it, a lot of oomph, a lot of feeling behind it. But when they had the dream, they never got a chance to experience the dream, or when they could experience the dream, they just didn't follow through all the way on the dream. Then there's the visionary. Visionary is looking to see, to have follow through, to accomplish something. In numerology, a dreamer is the number 11. The visionary is the number 22. And 11 and 22 are master numbers in numerology. From double zeros to double 99, those are master numbers. So, again, the dreamer is the number 11, because in the dream there are many secrets, codified information. You're trying to figure it out. Information that's occult. That's the word occult, meaning hidden from your view, ocular. You can't see it with your physical eye, but it's there. Then the visionary can see clearly with the eye, and also with the single eye, the third eye, and the rest of the chakras. Now, before I go a little farther, for many of you that are going to be watching this show, you're going to want to know how to get in touch with me. Well, you can get in touch with me by emailing me. I have two distinctive emails. They have the same almost 8, 9, 10 letters, 16 letters there. And it's the letters I, all lowercase, IAM, letters IAM, dot circle of grace, with the number 1 right after the E, at yahoo.com or gmail.com. IAM.circlegrace1 at yahoo.com. That's my primary. And my secondary email is the same thing, at gmail.com. IAM.circlegrace1. I have a brand new Skype number, and that is 505-349-4722. That's a brand new Skype internet number, 505-349-4722. Now, I also have one of these Magic Jack numbers, like the Skype and the Magic Jack numbers. They're tied to my laptop, but they're also connected to my private mobile number. So you can call my Magic Jack number, which is 505-717-4722. And I like how those now have the same last 4 digits. When you call 505-717-4722, you get to hear a 2-minute all-purpose decree, which is sort of like a prayer and a meditation at the same time. And many people hear it and it uplifts their spirit. I've had it on there since about 2006. That same message that you hear there, actually with the Magic Jack, has been on since about 2008. And my Skype number, I have a brief message there. So you listen to it, either one of them, wait, and then it'll tell you what to do. And you leave me your 10-digit phone number and your first and last name, if you can, or just your first name. Let me know you heard my show, or there's Blog Talk, or here at Ustream, or you listen to some of my stuff on YouTube, and you'd like to be in touch with me. Also, give me your email, or just send me an email and say you saw one of my shows. Okay? Now, coming on a week from this Saturday, April the 16th, I will be at the Epicenter Albuquerque, ABQ, Epicenter ABQ, at 199 Central Avenue Northeast. The entrance is on the north side of Broadway. So, depending on which direction you are coming from, if you happen to be coming down Central Avenue to Broadway, me traveling west, what you're going to do is you're going to go right past I-25 underneath, and you're going to keep going, and it'll be on your right hand side. You'll make a right turn. If you're coming from the other direction, underneath that little, what we call a little rainbow colorful bridge there, you'll come underneath and come up, and there'll be a traffic light there. You can't miss it. There'll be the church. So if you're traveling west on Central, toward Broadway, there's a traffic light there at Broadway. And if you're traveling east on Central Avenue, when you get to Broadway, you have to make a left turn. And you go to the driveway. The first left you make, right away as you make the left turn, make another left immediately, go behind the church, and keep going through, and then you'll see another building off there on an angle to the left, and that's the Epicenter ABQ. And it's a very nice and clean place. We're going to have some hot food there. That's what we're looking to. Hot food and drink on sale there. My sister Vernell, she's going to have her Ascension. I believe she'll have her Ascension Pyramid on her table there with her Vargers. She's going to have some music going so you can listen to it and get in that zone. Her son William is going to have his rocks there, his healing rocks, as I call them, his art rocks that he has put together, sculptures, and he's going to have what he calls the healing booth. Right there for $1 or $2, you can get a healing hug from him. And also, we'd like you to stay as long as you can at the end, where we should have a special event, a special ceremony at the end. We're looking to have you experience that. I'll be there as well with my table, Eye of the Spirit artwork, and the Circle of Grace 1. I'll have many of my prints, and again, you'll be able to get those prints. Some of them for maybe the price, you'll get them for $10 or $20, or you can walk out of there for $5 a pop. Also, my paintings will be there for sale that day. Also, I'm going to be doing Angel of Grace readings for $10 for 15 minutes and $20 for 30 minutes. And I am one of the presenters. There's probably going to be about maybe 4 or 5 presenters throughout the day. And I'm going to be one of the presenters. And what am I going to do? I'm going to put you in a state of meditation with me. And then I'm going to start walking around and giving little snippets of spiritual information from the Angel of Grace, from my mother Grace, from her mother, my grandma Charlotte, Ashnaten. Of course, he can't wait to give out some information at this event to people, just to demonstrate that you can receive information just about anywhere. And the meditation that I'll put you in, it won't be long. It'll be like 2, 3, 4 minute meditation, and I'll pop right in there giving you that source of information that you need at that time. And I'll probably have about 30 minutes, so I'm not going to have a long time to give you the presentation, but I want to make sure you get the information that you are to receive that day, Saturday, April the 16th, 2016. 16 is a powerful number, very powerful number. It's the number of the flash of intuition, spirit. It is in the tarot, they say to fall from grace, but you're not going to be falling from grace. I'm going to lift you up. Why? Because my grace is your grace. I'm there to lift you up that day. There'll be some other vendors. We'll have some astrologers there. We'll have Donna Carol Martin. She's going to be there doing some readings. Carol Joyce will be there doing some readings. We're going to have people there with some interesting jewelry, gemstone jewelry that'll be there. A lot of people. I think we're going to have some skincare people there too. We're going to have henna there, henna products. People will be doing henna on your hands and on your arms. It's a lot of information, a lot of things to do, and we're going to make sure that you're going to have a good time with us. And we plan, again, some hot food and drink there at the same time. So just $6 to come on in. Bring yourself some finances. Bring yourself a check if you need to. I don't have one of those machines yet. I don't have the square, so you can flip your card through, but you're going to have to either give me a check or give me cash. That's what I'm going to take. But I'm looking forward to see you. All right, the time is, here's that number 16 again. The time is 6:16 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 8:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I used to play lottery number 816 used to be a favorite number for me to play. 816 or 186. So if you're on the East Coast, play it. All right. So let's get back and let's. Are you a dreamer or are you a visionary? I say that we experience both. I, for one, have been a dreamer. A dreamer is usually one that's almost like fantasizing, having like the daydream. And so this is how this vibration of a dreamer came about. Is a person who has tons of ideas, 1,001 ideas, but they don't follow the idea out. They don't carry it through to its completion. So that's the dreamer. It could be dreaming big or dreaming small, but not taking the necessary steps to accomplish the dream, to carry it out, to manifest it, to materialize it. Now here's the other side of that. That doesn't mean that's a negative. I don't want to have a negative spin on it. Maybe also the dreamer is one who does this. Now you can have a person who can have the dream and they don't understand what the dream means, but they could tell somebody else, and that person could do what? Either help them analyze the dream or become an interpreter of the dream. Dream interpreter. That means that person has a lot of information, a lot of psychic information, a lot of intuitive information. They're very empathic. So when you tell them the dream, if they're very empathic, they will feel what? Like they're in your shoes, in your bed, having the experience of the dream, and therefore could tell you what it means. Person who's very intuitive, you could tell them and automatically they know what it means. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to be like the dream interpreter and go to books or go within themselves too much, but go to books and start through reams and reams of dream information, journals and books and you name it, videos, you name it, CDs and audios, name whatever it is. They don't have to go to their library to begin to look up the symbols. But they may have to, but they do it, and then they can piece this dream together. But a visionary, and usually a person who's having visions, doesn't always have to go to someone else to interpret the vision. So what am I saying? If you are a true visionary and you know and you sense it, you are the one who can decipher all of that information. That means you can take the vision, you can replay the vision in your mind over and over and over so that you can do what? So that you can interpret all of the information that you're getting. Now, that's the beauty of that, because as you are doing that, you are allowing yourself to see everything that is going on around you all the time. Everything. So that means you get the information, you see it for what it is, then you're able to do what? You're able to interpret the information that is coming to you. So, what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to, almost like the person who has the dreams, write that vision out. As soon as it comes to you, write the vision out. Now, see, there's something else that's very important about a visionary. The visionary sits back, he or she sits back, and they tune in to their greater surroundings and their closer surroundings, their inner circle within themselves, the outer circle outside of themselves. They tune into all of their resources, their divine sources that they have at their disposal. And all that they have at their disposal, the one who has the vision is doing what? They're creating. So this is the key. A visionary creates the vision. The dreamer is not creating, the dreamer is receiving the information. But the visionary can create in their mind what they want to see. And then they're able to what? Better able to accomplish it. That's like my sister, Vernell. Before she came here to New Jersey, we talked about it back in New Jersey. I see myself, see, a visionary sees themselves doing something, sees themselves accomplishing things. She saw herself doing expos, not just working at the expo, doing the expo. I saw myself speaking to many people. I would say to her all the time, and to anybody else, I see myself at a convention center speaking to a lot of people. Well, the epicenter ABQ is a mini convention hall. It's small, but I could see it one day being packed out. I even envision having the vision on the inside, seeing myself one day soon, if not this year, next year, becoming what they call a TEDx speaker. I have that vision, seeing myself speaking to thousands of people. People showing up and me delivering. Why? Because I'm accustomed to talking. I'm a talker. I wasn't always a talker. In high school, I was quiet. In college, I was pretty quiet. But once I got into this numerology and metaphysics, the spiritual plateau, I had to talk. Once I got exposed to being on radio, I had to talk. Cable TV, satellite TV. That was all back in the day. Back in the early 1980s, all the way up to the early 1990s. I had the opportunity to talk on satellite TV to people around the world. Right there on in the Empire State Building. Way up there in the 80th something floor of the Empire State Building is satellite TV studio talking to people from Brazil, Portugal, Italy, Germany, about numbers, numerology, and about dreams, and tarot, with some other psychics. I had a vision of coming here. My mother gave me that vision. It wasn't a dream. She said, "You're going to come here." She told me that 2 years before she transitioned. She transitioned in 1981. She told me that in 1979. And told me what? That I was going to be here in the Southwest, relocate here permanently, live here, and become well known. I had a Native American friend back east tell me in 2010, I'm going to knock some socks off, as they say, and people are going to knock my shoes off. With information given to me right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And now I'm here. So, getting all of this, saying all of this is what? Is that we all have dreams, we all have visions, and we are both dreamer and visionary. We do it both. We do both of it. All the time. This is a part of who we are. And why? Why would we be a dreamer and a visionary at the same time? Why not just one or the other? Well, it's that process of Taoism. He said, what? Taoism? Yeah, the Tao. As the Chinese would say, the Tao, D-A-O, anglicized, the Tao, T-A-O, Taoism. But what is that? Why would you equate it? It's the yin and the yang. The dreams that we're having, they're very subtle. Very subtle. So I'm going to call that yin. And then the yang is the vision, the heavier weighted one. When we get that, we know that we're going to experience it, all of it, right away. And guess what? But both have this experience connected, another thread between a likeness, or golden thread, or gold and silver thread, if you want to say. The dream that you have always can change. You can change the outcome of a dream. That's what they call lucid dreaming, being consciously aware that you're dreaming while you are asleep, and then change the outcome of a dream, or change how the dream is expanding itself, and then how you will experience that dream in your waking state. A vision, even though you received it right in the beginning, how everything is going to be crystallized, but while you're walking it out, just like the dream, experiencing it, and see the vision unfold, you make certain decisions of how you're going to respond to those elements of the vision that's unfolding on the path in front of you. You do the same with the dream. Only thing with the vision is you'd like to carry it out. Now, if the vision has some quote unquote negative things in it, well, then you want to be like, become a master dreamer, a master visionary, which means you want to capture it and turn it into a good. That's what you want to do. So in both cases, whether you are a dreamer or a visionary, and you are a little of both. If you are a dreamer, there's a part of you that's a visionary, and if you are a visionary, there's a part of you that's a dreamer. You're not really a purist in any form. You have this ability to make it happen. You have the ability to be a part of the bigger picture. We say the universe, the universe. What is the universe? The universe. There's a lot of people in slang say Y-O-U verse. You're the one song. You're the one verb. You're the one noun. You're the pronoun. You're the adjective. You're the adverb. You're all of it. You are the universe. Every one of us is like this charged particle of light in the universe. So it takes all of us to help what? Manifest the idea as we capture it and then bring it into the material plane. So we all get this chance to birthing process. Seed, incubation, birthing. All at the same time. It appears to be that way. So we're having these golden experiences all the time. I'm just checking my time. We're having these experiences all the time. And we are seeing it, we are receiving it, we are having the experience. And the unique thing is, when you go through your life's experiences, you're going to remember, oh, I dreamt this before. It didn't quite come out the same way, but I remembered getting the dream. But a person who has a vision, that thing sticks with them. So here's give you many people have had visions. The late Dr. Martin Luther King, he said, "I have a dream." Well, guess what? That dream also became a vision. That dream that he had way back in the 60s materialized itself, what? Over a 40 plus year stretch. There's that frequency. 20 years down deep and then 20 years up peaking. That sine wave energy. 20 years up to peak, 20 years down in the valley. Also, center. The biorhythm of the earth. 20-year cycle, something going on. 20 in numerology is Pluto, the Pluto effect. Something going on. A great transformation, a great change is taking place. We are always in the midst of a great change. We are in the midst of opportunity. We just have to gain the courage to not just receive it as a channel, but to carry it forward. So the difference, thin line between the dreamer and the visionary is to carry it out. The bridge for both is to carry out what they receive. Now, one who's having the vision may not have to question how that is going to be for themselves. May not have to question. However, you will question. A wise soul, one with wisdom, questions everything. Almost like a skeptic. You question everything. You ask intelligent questions, important questions, so that you gain a better understanding of the dreams with all this information popping through and a vision. Sometimes a dream can be populated with so much stuff it doesn't make any sense. So, and your subconscious is releasing all that data. See, here we are in our waking state. Some of us may get up and go to work, go to a job, or many of us may be self-employed. Therefore, we're out there doing whatever we need to do. We're creating. That's like a visionary too. Visionary is creating. A dreamer, though, at a very high level, is also creating, day to day, moment to moment. But to the visionary, it's not symbolic. The visionary has a telescope or a periscope, and they can see. No matter how deep they are in the water, like a periscope, like a submarine, you can see above water. Interesting, right? You can see. See beyond your life's journey, your life path, your life experiences. See beyond. You can see the breadth of your path. How wide it is. Like on the globe, the latitudes. Then there's the longitudes, right? Which almost I'm using at this point. You can see the altitude. How high up are you? How low into the below sea level are you? How even you could be on Earth. We are experiencing an opportunity. Time is 6:33. Here, these double digits, master number. We have an opportunity to explore our divinity. Now, there's a lot of things going on in the world around us, but we want to remain as positive as possible. Because if we allow ourselves to remain as positive as possible, we will have a breakthrough. One of my students that I mentor, who lives in Dallas, Texas, and been dealing with this young person, a little younger than myself, a couple of years younger. About what? She's only about 11 years younger than me, but she's had some life experiences that she has relayed to me. And many of you, if you're here, you know her. It was Layla, and she said something that she learned in one of her experiences with one of her other teachers there in the Southwest, down in Texas. Person said, if you're going through a difficulty in your life and you feel like your back is up against the wall and you feel like you're losing everything, you're not really losing. It's just the universe is stripping away some things you don't need. Now, when I heard it another way. I heard a bishop, Christian bishop, say this, but he was a metaphysical person at the same time. And I heard him say, like, you'll know just how strong you are. And he said it this way: when all HELL breaks out, when you're like, you lose first you get laid off from your job, and then your car breaks down and no longer can serve you because it was an old car, or maybe there was an accident, or maybe it got stolen, or maybe it got vandalized, or maybe the partner you and the partner weren't getting along, and all of a sudden that over years that had a split in your life. So it's just one after another. And there were family members that you were close to and friends that you were close to. Now you're no longer close to them, and you had a falling out, and it seems like you can't repair the relationship with family members or relatives or even friends. So you feel like you're now alone. And then over the years you become a loner, which means you don't mind being alone. Why? Because alone is short for all one. ALONE. Together, alone, really symbolically, you stick another L in there and then put a hyphen in there between the L and the O. You find like you're a loner. This is how I used to describe it. When a person is lonely, there's no one around. There's no one that seems to understand them, right? It's like you say, I'm lonely. I'm bored. I don't have any friends. The friends I had don't even understand me. My mom and dad don't understand me. My wife or her husband doesn't understand me. My sibling doesn't understand me. My cousins don't. Even my neighbor, even my coworkers, no one has a clue. Even I don't understand myself, so I'm lonely. Then you get to the stage of the loner. And this is I found this through study of meditation of numerology. People who are born on the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th of any month go through these three stages of loneliness to the loner. But what is the loner? Well, the loner is a person who doesn't mind being by themselves. Why? They're learning how to live with who they are, and they realize they got some dreams they got to work with, and they've got some visions they have to work with, and they begin to what? Work on themselves, repair the damage. They're the wounded healer. They got to repair that part of themselves. They got to excavate. They got to go deep inside, get rid of some old stuff inside themselves, clear their mind, clear their doubts, clear their guilt feelings, get rid of all of that muck, all of that stuck energy. Get rid of it. That's what the loner is doing. Then the loner steps into the stage where not only can the loner be by themselves, how is the loner surviving? This is where that word all one or alone. The loner doesn't mind being alone at times. But one who is lonely can't stand being alone. They don't like it. And many of us have been there. That's when you feel like your dreams hit rock bottom. You had a bag full of dreams like the fool in the tarot, and the bag opened up and rotted away, and all your dreams came out. All your tools fell out. All your food that you had to nourish yourself with. All you got is this pole. And you don't know what to do with the pole, but you don't know the pole is the standard of who you are. It represents your backbone, your support. What are you supporting yourself with? So, the person who's a loner does what? Excuse me for pointing at you. The loner, I'll point at myself. What does the loner do? The loner comes to the point where they become what? Self-sufficient. So that means the loner relies on themselves. They become totally responsible for their own authenticity of who they are. In other words, they're not pretending to be somebody else. They're not borrowing too much from someone else. They've worked on themselves enough and made themselves strong enough. Strong enough to do what? To be honest with themselves. To be transparent with themselves. Life is about becoming transparent, right? Being honest with yourself, meaning that you don't have anything to hide. You know, a person's better off saying this. Yeah, I used to smoke some weed. I got away from it. Yeah, I used to get high. I used to drink and be alcohol. And then I finally grew up from that. Yeah, I'm a guy that used to look at the girly magazines, and I got out of that. Or the woman say, I used to look at the guy magazines, and I got out of that. I used to spend a lot of money, and I got away from to stop spending so much money. At what? The person finally got in touch with themselves. Honestly, got in touch, engaged themselves, and realized, okay, I don't have to be Mr. Strong or Mrs. Strong 24/7. I can learn how to ask for help. I got rid of my personal ego so I can ask for help. But then I developed myself to the point where I become self-sufficient, where I know about my weaknesses, and I've taken my weaknesses and I've analyzed my weaknesses, and now I've gotten stronger. And I know about my strong points, but now I don't have to take my strong points like a sword, and I don't have to overassert myself. I don't have to push myself through anything, and I don't have to mow down anybody. I can stand right in the middle. That's what the Kabbalah is about, When you look at the Kabbalah and you put the human figure inside the Kabbalah, the spine from the crown of your head down to your tailbone, and when your 2 feet come together, that's the middle pillar of life. That's the pillar of mildness, the pillar of meditation and prayers. And then the right pole, where the right hand falls, it falls in the house of magic and science. And the elbow, that's Mercury with the hand, and the elbow falls with Mars. So what they call severity of judgment. And the right shoulder falls in the third house, the third sphere, which is Bina, or Bina, or Bina, which is the divine mother energy, Saturn house. And over here, the second sphere is Chokma, the divine father's house. What? Wisdom. Wisdom and understanding. The divine mother's understanding, divine understanding, divine father is divine wisdom. Okay, knowledge and stuff. And the left elbow, so that's the left pole. The left pole coming down, because your body is standing in there. On that left pole up here, since this is the second one, right? This is all even numbered coming down here. Here's number 4, and 4 is what? So that fourth one they call chesed, or mercy. You ever heard the phrase? May Lord have mercy on my soul. Mercy. You need some mercy. In other words, you need some grace. That's grace and mercy I wanted to say. You don't want to be merciless. You don't want to be ruthless, which is difficult, hard. You want grace in your life. Grace is right there. That's one of the elements of grace. And then you move down to that left hand, and that's Netzach. And Netzach is dealing with nature, the nature of something. Being outdoors, the fine arts, music, dance, poetry. You need that to balance. You need balance. You balance that with this. That's what you're seeking to do. You're seeking to create a balance. And you go within. That's the pillar of mildness. And your 2 feet represent Malkuth, which is on the face of the earth, the 4 seasons and the 4 elements of earth: fire, air, water. Fire, air, water, and earth. And the 5th element, ether, spirit. And so on. And then Tiferet, if you call it. The sun. Where is the sun? The heart chakra region. So all these things represent something. And the 2 hands and the 2 elbows represent something along with the heart. Then there's 3 triangles. That thing goes into so much, but you're the whole thing. You're the whole tree of the life that you're seeking to live. You have all of these connections. So your dreams and your visions are leading you to the same thing. To what? Be able to map your life out and follow the map. You can have some dreams, but you're going to have some visions that will see you through. That's the whole idea, is to see your way through the particles of life, the charged particles, to get excited about your own life. So we went from being lonely to the loner to all one, meaning unified. Unified force field, auric field. You're at one with the universe. You're at one with the consciousness of the Spirit of God. Buddha, Christ, Ganesha, Lakshmi, and going on down the line. You're a part of all of these elements. So therefore, you're not lost. You can't be lost. You won't get lost. You're having the experience of what? Oneness. But you must overcome, as in the Hindu side in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, they talk about Maya or Maya. I have a niece called Maya. I just they named her illusion.
But she will learn the illusions of life that are around, man-made illusions, and step into reality. We overcome Maya, illusion in our lives. What is illusionary? That this physical body is really not us. That's the illusion. This holographic world that we're in is really not us. We helped create it. Something else that's beyond this. There's a whole new realm, or as I say, realm. Repeatedly offer something to you. That's a realm of consciousness. A realm of consciousness is repetition of an offering to yourself. Who are you? That's your question. Who are you striving to become more of? That is your question. I read a post. I posted it off of a board. I was at Tinkertown, as they call it, and there was something I took a picture of, and it was about living your life in a juicy way. And I think the last line was, everybody is seeking a miracle. You are seeking a miracle. You're on this life, this path to seek a miracle, and then you find out that you're the miracle that you've been seeking the whole time. You're looking for treasures and gifts, but you find out that you're the treasure and gift you've been seeking the whole time. That's what this is about. This is all about us. Don't be down on yourself if you're the dreamer and you're not getting things done, and don't be down on yourself if you're the visionary and the weight of the thoughts are too much and the feelings and the projects are too much. Put a balance between the two. Realize that you're going to have some dreams and you're going to have some visions. Put them both together. Know that the dream can become the vision. Mold the dream so that it becomes the vision. Then you're one and the same. Okay, you become one and the same. You had the dream, the seed thought, the dream. Now you put some intention behind it, and now you begin to walk it out as a vision. Your entire life is dreams and visions, but you might find that you got the many ones along the way. Many dreams and visions along the way that are happening all the time. So you want to be fulfilled by what you see and by what you experience. That's what you want to do. You want to realize that there is something that is happening for you. There's something that you are receiving for you. There is something that is fulfilling, that's leading you. It's leading you. And you're going to have a ball. You're going to have a great time. You're going to just be able to express and be and understand and live and grow and transform and generate and regenerate and then one day transcend. That's what transcendental meditation is about. It's taking you off this planet, taking you beyond this physical illusionary world to the world of reality, the real deal. And knowing that the real deal doesn't have to be way out there. The real deal can happen right here. And as you make it happen here, it'll take everything that doesn't fit here anymore with you. It will explode it. It will dissolve it in you. In other words, you'll dissolve all your doubts and your fears with yourself. You'll overcome all the traumatic states of living with yourself. You'll get rid of all the anger with yourself. You'll get rid of all the sadness with yourself. You're going to have some sadness, though, because you're on this planet with everybody else. You're in this illusionary world, a matrix with everybody else, working, figuring. Some people deliver messages with anger. Some people teach something with anger, and there's no need to do that. If somebody has to teach you something with anger behind it, then their hidden agenda is they want to control how you're going to receive it. Because they're teaching anger, they're pushing it on you, and they're angry. So they're pushing it on you, and you're angry, and you're on receiving end. So that means they're controlling how you're going to receive it. They're not giving you any room to change the format, to change the program. They just want you to receive the anger that they have. And then you find out it's really not about you. It's about what they didn't accomplish for themselves, what they didn't figure out for themselves. It all boils down to how they didn't love themselves. Someone didn't love them, and that person left the planet without them saying anything. Or they left them without fixing some of it, so they could say something, so they could free themselves. So I hope that you enjoyed tonight's program. It's 6:52 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm glad to be back here. Last week I couldn't get on, but I did it using my phone. Used my trusty Android phone because I had a Ustream app on it, and I was able to set it up horizontally here in my little space here that I have, my little studio space that I create here, and broadcast none the same. And I just might come on a little later. I was supposed to do a random broadcast, and maybe one day I'm going to start doing some random broadcasting. I'm looking to charge my phone up and go outside and broadcast from outside, so we can see some petroglyphs behind me. We can see a golf course behind me. Maybe we'll see some hot air balloons in the air, and I'm broadcasting outside. But I plan on doing some short broadcasts and then uploading those broadcasts. So like tonight, I got to upload last week's show as well as this week's show so that every one of you can see it. I want to thank you for being here with me. We got about 7 minutes left. I kind of wish I could play some music. Maybe one day when I get I have a auto harp in my closet here, and I have to get some new strings. And hopefully one day I'm going to get those new strings ordered, string it up, and I'm going to play it for you. And I'm going to put in a chording that I like. People refer to it now as an angelic chording, but I'm going to put in some chords that I like, and then I'm going to pluck away and stroke away and help us get into a state of meditation. And this will be good because you'll be able to hear it. I got on my headset here, so I can have it next to me. You can hear the sound of it. So these are some things that I want to present and bring to you. As time goes on, I'm going to be able to also have an opportunity to talk a little bit about crystals. So even though this is a 2-hour show, I made it a 2-hour show today. Sometimes it'll be a 90-minute show, but I want to come in and give some more information about crystals and gemstones. And hopefully one day I'll be talking about the tuning fork vibrations. After work at getting some more of those, but I have it too. Many of you see me use a 256 hertz cycle, which is middle C, and then I have a 64 hertz cycle, which is called a bone resonator. It kind of puts the vibration, low bass tone vibration coming through. So I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, and these things have to be utilized now. I know people have been utilizing bit by bit by bit by bit and month by month by month, but now we have to activate these things and get them into place. So we have to start exercising now. That's important. We have to exercise, not just exercise, but actually live it. That's what we want to do. We have to live everything that we're doing now so that it becomes a way of life. And when we do that, we set forth a charge of vibration in the atmosphere. And all of this negative stuff that people is talking about that they want to see happen. Because when there's negativity around and people talk about it too much, they help bring the negativity into a reality. So we know people, big corporations and things are out there trying to create something else. But we have free will. And to some extent, we can issue some positive energy with positive actions and positive thoughts and positive feelings and change the outcome. And the outcome will be changed because everything from the beginning in the middle will be changed along the way. So if you're a practitioner of hatha yoga, exercise it. Make that a part of your life so that it's being expressed. If you are someone who does Tai Chi, Qigong, some type of martial art, take that martial arts energy rather than fighting or sparring with somebody. Take that martial art energy, and if you can, if you got a backyard to do, get in the backyard and channel up that energy and release it into your neighborhood. Release it into your neighborhood. That's why I have to work on my flat harp. I've been message I got for someone for them to work on their big standard harp again, but I'm going to get back to my auto harp and I'm going to start releasing some tones. All I got to do is open up a window and strum and meditate and release some tones into the atmosphere. Now, to a person, earthly thinking person, that's just sound. It doesn't appear to go somewhere. But having the metaphysical consciousness and the spiritual consciousness open with myself, I will be able to take that energy and project it etherically, astrally, psychically, empathically into the ethers. And whoever is out there is going to hear a tone. They're going to receive their tone. I'm not going to change their way of thinking, but the tone will be there for them to harmonize with and relax and allow them to change themselves. So as we're coming down, it's 2 minutes left to closing out the show. Came on exactly at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. I want to thank you for being here with me today, watching this show, and I finally got through the show and be able to share this information with you. This is the Circle of Grace One, founded on July 2nd, 1999 A.D. on the aegis and the anointing of the Angel of Grace through divine providence. It gave birth to its very own spiritual and metaphysical institute called the Circle of Divine Grace and Remembrance on February the 7th, 2009, and I'm the host of both, chief principal teacher and founder of both. But guess what? I'm studying a distance training program with my sister. We're studying the University of Metaphysics, and I know a lot of people out there say, what's that? But, the guy who started it, he just transitioned after his 80th birthday in the month of January of this year, and that was Dr. Paul Leon Masters. That's his last name, Masters. And he originally started this. See, this is what a lot of people don't know. He originally started this in 1955 when he was living in California. He started it in the Los Angeles, Beverly Hills area, and he had a school there. And at that time it was called the International Ministry of Metaphysics, or Metaphysical Ministry, International Metaphysical Ministry. That's how he first got it started. And then he developed it, and he developed it, and he developed it. One of his most outstanding students was the late Della Reese. She got a Lifetime Achievement Award from him. So she studied these works, and that was during the time when she was doing the TV show Touched by an Angel. I'm going to try to find some of that on Netflix or on Rabbit TV that I see here. I'm going to see if I can find that. Those are great episodes to watch. Touched by an Angel. Alright, so this is what this is all about. It's everything that I'm doing is designed to enhance not only my life and the people close to me, but everyone else around me. I'm looking forward to share more information with you as time goes on, so that's why I'm putting myself in this program. It's a 2-3 year program of studying a lot of new thought material, because he gives information in there that fits Unity Church, that fits the Science of Mind, which is the center of spiritual living. And so you might say I might be like a miniature version one day of Agape, University, like Dr. Michael Bethwick and his work. All of this stems from that. But it's taking all of this information. I'm even going back and studying some of the things of the Science of Mind, or the Science of Living, of the late Reverend Dr. Frederick Eichenkrota, better known as Reverend Ike, some of his teachings also. So it's all about just bringing truth, harmony, and spiritual essences and blessings for everyone. Well, I'm going to sign off now. Until next time, I'm going to add this little short phrase in. My grace is your grace. I appreciate you and thank you so much for spending time and watching this live stream, that you have that much time like I do to listen to me talk a lot, teach a lot, and share a lot. Thank you for listening to me when you can every Wednesday for 30 minutes on Blog Talk Radio, the Age of Remembrance channel that I have there for internet radio. Hopefully one day in the near future I'll be able to take that time, that internet radio format, and expand it to an hour. Maybe take it to 45 minutes, but expand it to at least an hour, so more information. The whole idea is to get a lot of information out. So now I have both. I have both going on, internet radio and live video streaming. A couple of years ago it was just one or the other. So this is an opportunity to get all this information out to people. I know someone asked me, could I put it on Podbean? I did Podbean back in 2006, 2007, 2008, and when I was using Podbean back then, that's before I did, while I was doing live streaming, video streaming, I accumulated after 6 months about 10,000 listeners. So I was putting 15-minute audio snippets out there for people. So we're back again, live video streaming now, interactive chat room, also internet radio. Thank you so much for being my friend again. Thank you so much for letting me be myself again. We know we got that from, right? Sly Stone, and Sly and the Family Stone, right? Well, just thank you for being you as well. And until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing, as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. I'll see you here next Thursday. I should be here next Thursday. If not, I will announce it on Facebook, or I'll come on in the middle of the night and do a show and leave it here. Random broadcasting is always good to do. See you next week here. Next Wednesday, I'll be at blogtalkradio.com, The Age of Remembrance, or The Circle of Grace 1 in the Age of Remembrance. That's its title for the channel. I'll be there 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for 30 minutes at least. And then I come here next Thursday when I do at least a minimum of 90 minutes to a maximum, or I should say a minimum of 1 hour to a maximum of 2 hours, right here at the Circle of Grace 1 channel on Ustream, live video stream, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alright, I'm signing off. Thank you so much. You're a blessing to me, and I hope that I'm a blessing to you. See you next time.